have we got something to tell you?
Welcome back, everybody. This is Burnt on Religion, the podcast for those who have been burnt, who are currently burning, and those who are trying to avoid being burnt. I am Ashton. And Rusty, did you hear what happened to Josh?
No, tell me.
Oh, boy. So, Josh, from what I've been told and heard,
I'm just going to
I'm sorry, you're right there. I can't tell it. I'm sorry. And there's Josh right there.
Was that the intro? There's Josh right there?
Well, I didn't want to say anything in front of you.
No, I appreciate that. I
Just turn around.
I respect you. I respect you in a huge way for that, Ashton. You want to do it behind my back?
Yeah.
So it's behind my back actually to my face, since being in front of my back would be me turned around, right? Or is that too deep of a conversation?
Do you have little eyes in the back?
No.
Because it doesn't matter which way you face them.
I don't know. We'll have to solve
Just
that
put your
problem
glasses
later.
on backwards.
That'll work. That'll work. Not my vision won't work, but that'll work. Well, as you can tell already, our topic is gossip.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah.
I was there for it.
I believe that's
no
true.
idea.
I'm going to tell everybody. You guys said you didn't know, and you did.
Josh, that's spreading
That's
lies, not
gossip.
gossip.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to have to figure out what gossip is. This topic right here is one that so many people like to redefine, because if you're if you are a gossiper, and we're not spreading anything about you here, we're not accusing you of anything, but if you are a gossiper, there's probably a different title you like to go by other than gossip.
I'm informed.
Yes, I am an informer. I am I like to share the wealth. I don't know what you like to go with, but this topic of gossip is just I don't know. I don't even know how to describe this. It is a hairy mess of religious fire that you can burn people with.
Hairy mess of fire.
The hair, yeah, it's not flammable.
It's
hair.
a fiery hair.
It's a fiery, hairy mess. So this, don't laugh at me. Don't spread rumors about my analogy there.
I would never.
No. I don't even trust these guys.
I don't blame you.
So here's the problem. If somebody is a gossip, especially in a church, the last thing they want to be called is a gossip. Because that would be wrong. That would be mean. So they don't typically smile upon that. They frown upon that title. Although there's a lot of people gossiping, and they still say they're not a gossip. So how have you met these people?
Yes.
Do you know of any gossips?
Not around here.
Okay, but growing up, did you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What were their names? Don't
Well,
don't tell. We don't want to. No. Yeah. So this idea of gossip, I'm telling you, I don't know that I've ever been to a church, which I do not believe it currently exists in our church. Not that I know of. I don't think the church that we all attend right here. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know of any gossip going around or anybody that spreads gossip in our church. Are you guys aware of that? If so, you can tell me afterwards. But
I'd have to say no.
no.
Not that I'm aware of by any means.
Okay, I don't either. Which is great. At our point in our church's existence, praise God, we don't have a problem of that we know of. But I can say every other church that I've been part of, I don't know of one that we missed this topic. I think somebody carried the baton in every church I've ever been to. That doesn't make our church better. We're just, praise God, we're in a healthy place right now as a church. That doesn't mean it can't happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but it can happen anywhere, at any time. So, but every other church I can think of growing up, and my parents were missionaries, and my dad pastored a church. So I have been to a lot of churches. We traveled from church to church. I can't think of one that there wasn't a gossip issue in. So this is apparently it's an epidemic. A lot of people have gossip in their churches. A lot of people have gossip in their families. and we're not telling you something you didn't already know. We're not gossiping about this. So today we're just going to give you the dirt on gossip. That's what we're going to do. So thank you for tuning in, and we're going to define what this really is, since everybody's got their own pretty little definition for it. And as long as it's not gossip. So what have you guys heard? How do people paint themselves? Nobody wants to say, by the way, I'm a gossip. How do they how do they portray themselves if they're in the middle of gossip and they know they share stories about other people and all of that? They usually don't say, hi, my name is so-and-so and I'm a gossip, and everybody goes, hi, so-and-so. That's not it. They don't even believe they have a problem. So how have they portrayed themselves in your history, in your background? How have people defined themselves or justified?
I would have to say, that I can remember, there was no real justification, or they didn't define themselves that way. I remember hearing very well, of course, the cliche, you're not hearing this from me, but blah, 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 blah.
Which is the person you are hearing it from.
Which is the person you're hearing it from.
You didn't hear this from me, but
blah, 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 blah.
By the way, that is a huge indicator that you are about to receive gossip. You didn't hear this from me. So that's basically just saying, I don't want it coming back on me.
And they don't want the responsibility of the repercussions of what they've said coming back to them. So, you didn't hear this from me, but such and such did this.
So that's almost like a self-preservation. If we start it that way, there's no way this can affect me because you didn't hear it from me. That excludes me.
Well, yeah, and if they're trying to dodge that bullet, that they are aware of the fact of what they're doing is not right to start with.
It's a confession.
It's a confession.
Yeah, you didn't hear this from me.
I'm guilty before we get started.
Right. I'm about to tell you what I'm going to do wrong.
So don't tell nobody else.
Yeah, don't tell anybody I did it. I've heard that before. You didn't hear this from me.
Yeah, you didn't hear this from me.
Which is completely a lie. I am now standing here witnessing that I am hearing this from you.
Exactly.
The first thing you started out by doing is lying to me.
This is going real sideways.
Yeah, right. So, Ashton, how have people defended gossip in your past? Like, what have you heard? How do they?
Man, anywhere from, I'm self-proclaimed neighborhood watch, so I have to keep my eye on everybody and tell you what's going on with everybody.
What's Mrs. Johnson up
to?
I don't even know Mrs. Johnson.
It's a lot of what Rusty says. Like even with the different churches I've gone to, 99% of the time, it's somehow I don't know why it's like older women. Like, did you hear about this person? Oh, did you see this? Oh, do you know what their kids are up to? Or, I mean, it could be. Well, I'm just if you need any information, you come to me.
Right.
It's like,
there's a I can't think of the song. It just came to my mind and left it. I have apparently issues. But Randy Travis put out a country song years ago, and Rusty, you might come. You listen to country music in the past for sure. But there's a lyric in it. The old men talk about the weather and the women talk about old men. I don't remember what the song is.
Forever, never, amen.
Okay, look at that. We've got look at that.
Nice.
Our country music filing cabinet at the other end of the table there. So, forever and ever, amen. Old men sit and talk about the weather, and then old women talk about old men. I don't know why it is a pastime that is stereotypical for old women. That's not putting down old women or young women or anybody, but it is a stereotype that goes with that. They like to share stories and stuff like that.
And it's totally stereotypical because I've seen that kind of behavior and actions out of people who are female, male, young.
Yes.
Old. It didn't matter.
Right.
I've unfortunately seen it perpetrated by a lot of people.
Right, yes.
Just to everybody.
And the truth is, all three of us at this table most likely have been involved in gossip before. Not You don't want me telling people
You're
about
not
that?
supposed to tell nobody.
Oh, okay, sorry. Me, currently, apparently, I'm involved in gossip. But even as kids, sometimes we share stories that we shouldn't have done. And it is gossip, even though we don't understand that's the title it falls under. But I'm thinking most people have fallen into the gossip realm sometime in their past, whether they regularly do it or not. I think we've all done it. But the one thing we have to do is define what that is, because one thing that I know for sure that it is defined as, and you guys have probably been here before too, is I've got a special prayer request.
Oh, man.
Have you heard that?
I could see where they could go bad.
So many times.
You have heard that.
Yes.
Okay, the prayer request version.
Yep.
So did you hear it inside a prayer meeting or a Bible study or something, or was it just a telephone call where someone shares
Well, all the above. Like it's
Oh, wow.
mainly. Yes, especially from family members. You make that phone call that you may regret, and it usually is the phone call you probably end up regretting, because then it turns into, hey, while if you have some free time, you might want to pray for so and so, because I heard this is what's going on. And, I don't know, but this is what and then it's just a downward rabbit hole spiraling down, and
Yeah.
even in church. When you're trying to actually make it, to the door, that's when people like to corner.
Yes.
Sometimes it's like, oh, he's leaving. Go, but it's like, oh, and before you go, can you do a special prayer for whoever because
Right.
of X, Y, Z? And they're like, well, I don't know
Yeah.
because I don't know if that's the real thing that I should be
Right.
praying for.
And how do you get out of it when you're in that situation?
Yeah.
Because some of us have received gossip, like we've heard it before, and you're thinking, I shouldn't be listening to this. I shouldn't be part of this conversation. So what do you do in that? How do you operate? How do you navigate through that?
Gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, always. Yeah, and then they're telling the other person, "Hey, Rusty didn't have to go to the bathroom, but he just lied to me, saying he had to go to the bathroom so he could avoid our conversation." And we just continue going in the gossip train.
At least go to the bathroom so you're not lying.
Right. Go to.
the bathroom.
You don't have to use the facilities, but you do. I now need to go because I said that. That way you're all covered up there.
Technicalities.
So it's basically with the prayer request version of gossip, like, oh, I got a prayer request I need you to pray about. It's under the cloak of concern.
Sure.
Disguise it that way. How can you not listen to the person and their concern? Jesus listened to people and their concerns. So I'm just doing what Jesus would do. Sometimes it's under the cloak of concern, and sometimes it's just blatant gossip. Like you got that person that's not even ashamed. They're just like, let me tell you what so-and-so did, and that's it. Kind of like Ashton started this episode out with. So I'm not saying anything bad about you, Ashton.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thanks.
But it's usually hidden under something that sounds noble. That's how people disguise the gossip thing. Because nobody wants to be called a gossip. You don't want to be known for that.
Well, gossip just sounds so bad.
It does. It does. So I've got a couple justifications here. Because the gossipers love to justify what they're doing, especially if they're religious. And this is how people get burned on religion. The people that say, I'm not going to church because the church is full of hypocrites? That's right. They don't, and they're right. A lot of churches are full of hypocrites. So, and this is one of those areas where people get burnt on religion because everybody in that building is talking about everybody else outside of that building. So why do I want to be part of that group? Maybe so I'm not the outside group that they're talking about. I don't know, but why join? Why would I be associated with those people? Christians, sometimes the fastest way to chase people away from God is to use Christian, and that's just a sad commentary. But when we get involved in religious obligations or religious mindsets, what we do is we chase people away from God. We're not bringing them to His true character because we're doing things out of context. And these justifications take gossip out of gossip's context, and this is what we do as people. So Christians, behave yourself. You're so much better than that. Just figure out what God says about these topics, and let's get it in context so we're not operating on bad teaching. Okay, And these justifications aren't something that pastors tell you. We don't need pastors to give us justifications on gossip. We hook ourselves up with those.
We got that covered.
We don't even want the pastor to know how we justified it. We don't want the pastor to know that we're doing it. We just justify it. So here's the one. Here's one. And so many people believe this. It's not gossip if it's true. Have you heard that?
Oh, yeah.
It's not gossip if it's true. Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, if it was told to a person, with the expectation and the knowledge of confidence that's going to stay between the two of you. True or not, especially if it's true, sure. You go out there, and as soon as they walk away, and then, guess what Billy Bob Jim George did?
Billy Bob Jim George, where are you from?
Take a wild guess.
South.
Yes.
Okay. To our southern listeners, hi, we love you. All right, go ahead.
Making fun of my southern heritage.
Good night, Jim Bob.
I think I might be making fun of your cousin. I don't know who that is.
Twice removed.
Okay, all right.
Anyway.
All right, more about Billy Bob Jim George.
Yeah, but I mean, but the first thing you do, even if it was true, is guess what he did?
Right.
All confidence was just shot.
Right.
You did away with every ounce of credibility that you have. And this person's going to be as jaded and just, they're not going to trust you or anybody else.
Right.
You just planted this seed of done.
Right. So it's true. So you said if it's between, this needs to stay between me and you as an indicator of gossip. And I'm just going to throw a little monkey wrench in here. That's true. It can be an indicator, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be gossip. Let's say we're throwing Ashton a birthday party, and I say, hey, Rusty, help me keep this secret. Let's throw him a birthday party. Are we gossiping at that point? Because it needs to stay between me and you.
No.
Okay, so that's not gossip. So we really do need to define this definition for all those people, all those justifiers out there. We need to actually give what gossip is all about. But there are other things that the Bible talks about too. There are other words that say, hey, don't do this, don't do that, and don't do the other thing. And people don't even know what the definition of those are. So we basically come up with our own definition. So here's the first one. It's not gossip if it's true. Okay? So we have a justification. Basically what we're saying is accuracy equals permission. So, hey, this is true. Let's tell the world.
Sure.
That's what we come up with. So gossip is about audience and purpose. Okay? And we're going to get to the definition of what gossip is. The definition. Because your definition of a prayer request may fall under the definition of gossip. So we're going to try to clean up some prayer requests today. God does know. He's the one you need to talk to. And if you tell God about what so-and-so did, he's already got the inside scoop on that. So it's safe to tell him, but it might not be safe to tell somebody else. Okay? True. So the prayer request, let's redefine that and see if it falls under gossip instead of prayer request. So sharing accurate information, but it's private information with uninvolved people still destroys trust. Okay? It's accurate and it's private information. Now that person comes back and like, hey, how did so-and-so find out about this? Well, I told them. You gossip? Nope. It was true. So if it's true, it's not gossip. By the way, I don't know who told you that, but that's not true. It can still be gossip. Let's throw a couple verses out because this is what we want to get context. We want to get we want the context of what gossip is, but we do want to find it in Scripture also instead of just having a conversation about it.
Sure.
So Proverbs 11:13 says, "A talebearer reveals secrets, but he who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter." You're going to conceal the matter? Yeah, but I would rather hear the secret. A talebearer reveals secrets, and he who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter. But if you feel like you just got to be the one to tell, you might be in the talebearer conversation rather than the faithful spirit conversation. So I don't know which one you guys like, but I seem to like door number 2. I'd rather be known as the faithful spirit side rather than the talebearer. Also, Ephesians 4:29. Let's grab one from the New Testament. Let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for good for necessary edification, that it may impart grace to the hearer. Edification is building one another up. What is gossip typically doing?
Usually it tears apart, it tears down.
Right. So this says, let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth. Okay, so what's a corrupt word? Well, it gives us the contrast of it. But what is good for necessary building up, that it may impart grace to the hearers. So the contrast is, a corrupt word would fall under the tearing down side, and the good word would be the necessary edification or the building up. So that would throw gossip, new definition, ding, 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 ding. It's a corrupt word. Most people don't define it that way, but the Bible seems to.
Well, yeah.
Since it's not necessary building up.
Yeah, you're definitely not, in the act of gossip, you're definitely not building someone up.
You're tearing people down. Right. Unless it's done as a prayer request. And then we're trying to build them up together in prayer. Still gossip. And we'll go deeper on this.
Lipstick on a pig.
What's that?
So that's lipstick on a pig.
That's right. It's still a pig. It's just really gaudy looking pig all of a sudden, but it's still a pig. So here's another justification, okay? I'm just venting. And by the way, as a pastor, I get to hear that one a lot. Just let me vent for a second. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind if you vent. That is perfectly fine. But in the middle of the venting, I go, got a question. But wait, got another question. And then we try to make sure it's not gossip. So the translation of I'm just venting is I want relief without responsibility. So just go ahead and let me pour all this dirt about so-and-so onto you. What am I supposed to do about it? Nothing. I'm just venting. By the way, that falls under the definition of gossip, not venting. Venting is, man, I've had a hard day, and I'm just really struggling right now. I'm tired, and I've got a bad mood. I'm having a bad mood right now. I'm just grumpy, and I know that's not how I need to be, but this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Not this person, this person, this person, but these things happened to me, and this is where I'm at. That's venting. That's just, these are my feelings right now, but not involving people. So-and-so did this, and so-and-so did that. That would fall under gossip. But venting, gossip doesn't fall under the definition of venting, but it does fall under the justification of venting. They just call it that. And the third one I have here is, well, they did it to me first. How 3-year-old can we be?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we can be.
Right.
Can be.
What do you got?
Oh,
So they did it to me first. My kids, I love my kids, but when they were younger, they're smart kids. I don't know. They get it from their mom's side. They're so smart. Well, when they were kids, we said, "Hey, remember to do unto others the way you want them to do to you." So the golden rule principle: do to them, treat them the way you would want to be treated. So then suddenly we see them treating each other bad. I'm like, "Is that how you would want to be treated?" And they'd say, "Well, here's my conclusion. I figured they treat people the way they want to be treated, and since they treated me this way, that must be the way they want to be treated. So that's why I'm treating them bad, because they did it first." And I only assume they would want to treat people the way they want to be treated. They were smart. They manipulated it so it sounded noble. It's the same thing we're all doing as adults.
yeah.
Like, let me twist this so it sounds good. Let me make it a prayer request instead of gossip. It's the same thing my kids did when they were young. I mean, they're 5 years old, and I'm like, whoa. Where'd you come up with the logic to spin that in that way So it made you sound better, which by the way it didn't, but it was a valiant effort. But they just didn't want to look bad. Like, I know what I did was wrong, but here's my justification. They did it first, and I assumed they were just treating me the way they wanted to be treated. Like, you're smart kids, go to your room, you're in trouble. So basically the translation of this is, I'm retaliating. They did it to me, I want to do it to them. So Romans 12:17, let's just go ahead and coat these with scripture so people aren't listening to three guys talking about their issues. Don't tell anybody you had the issue, just stop it. Here's a verse, Romans 12:17. Repay no one evil for evil, having regard for good things in the sight of all men. Your job isn't to retaliate. Your job isn't to get them back. If they did it first, let them be the only one that did it. That's it. Your job isn't to do that. But then there's so many topics that fall under this gossip thing, and we are going to have to define what gossip is. Mm-hmm. But let's go ahead and muddy the water up a little bit before that. You've got backbiting, slander, and discord. Do those all fall under the same umbrella with your religious background, guys?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so are they all the same thing? How was it defined? Was there any separation with these things?
No, they seem to accompany each other,
Just hand in hand, skipping down the yellow brick road there.
Exactly, kind of like, coffee and, a donut or whatever. Yeah, they're just rolling down the road next to
Like a
each other.
peanut butter jelly situation.
Exactly.
Backbiting, slander, discord, and gossip.
Exactly.
Just all of them.
You got a gossip sandwich right there.
Okay, so was gossip backbiting? Were they the one and the same? Was gossip slander?
I think they're all components of,
Okay.
I've seen them as you've seen all those components present in gossip.
Okay, so gossip's the term that we're more familiar with that one.
Yeah.
But if you say that's slander, you might hear that in court cases, the idea of slander.
Yeah.
Backbiting, not too many conversations are circulating at the water cooler about backbiting. That's a Bible term, Backbiting would be like the dog bit me, so I bit him back. Right. So, which my mom did at one time when she was a kid. Dog bit her. She going after her sister, and she told the dog, "You bite me, I'll bite you back." Well, the dog bit her, and my mom bit the dog back, and the dog left. So my mom won. Just a little nugget of not important information at all. Just you're welcome to all the listeners. So let's go ahead and define these terms because, like you said, they were all just one big sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So gossip, backbiting, slander, discord. Let's go after that. Okay. So there's got to be a difference since the Bible does refer to them all on individual basis. Mm-hmm. So what is gossip? That's what we've been waiting for this whole time already. I don't know how long we're into the episode. I don't know. Plenty of time. Yeah, we're plenty of time into the episode. So let's define what gossip is. Here's the short answer for what gossip is. Gossip is sharing negative or private information. It could be positive information. So there's an or here. Gossip is sharing negative or private information about someone with those who are neither part of the problem or the solution, creating strife rather than seeking for their good. So here's what it is. Here's the focus. This is what it is. The person is neither part of the problem or the solution. By the way, this will clean up a lot of things for a lot of pastors out there. And I'm telling you this because I am one. And if people could understand this concept right here, there'd be a lot less gossip going on. So it's negative or private information, one or the other, okay? Maybe everybody seems to know about it, but the pastor doesn't yet, and you're just going to share negative information. It's not private. Everybody knows about it, but it's negative. Is it your job to tell the pastor about this negative information? What if it's positive information, but it's private? There's a lot of surprises that get ruined. There's a lot of things that people just don't know about. Hey, so-and-so won the lottery. That's positive, right? They gained a lot of money or they got an inheritance. They're millionaires now. Maybe that person doesn't want that information out there because They don't want to inherit all those friends.
Long lost relatives.
Right, a long lost relatives. That Billy Bob George guy comes to your door, like, wait a second. So, did I get his name right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
At least that's only one person. 4 names.
But maybe he shows up and like, I didn't even know we were related. Maybe it's positive information. This person just inherited $1 million. They're a millionaire now, but they don't want that information out. And now you're sharing positive information, but it is private information. Okay? So both fall under the category of gossip. The negative or the positive can be. Now, did Billy Bob George whatever inherit it? Let's say it was true. Yeah, it was true. So therefore it's not gossip? Yeah, it's still gossip. So you can't even use the if it's true, it's not gossip thing because, now you got Billy Bob George coming after you because he's mad at you.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't your information to share. That was something he wanted to keep to himself because he didn't want all his new friends showing up to his house, asking for
Money.
friendship. Yeah. So here's how you break it down. Gossip is sharing negative or private information. So just remember, we just explained that category, negative or private. In either side of that will work. With someone who's neither part of the problem or the solution. So let's say you come to me and tell me, hey, so-and-so's doing drugs. Okay? And by the way, they hate you. Okay. All right. They're doing drugs and they hate me. All right. Am I part of the problem? No, you didn't do anything. You didn't cause this. Okay. They're not doing drugs because they hate me? No, they just hate you and they're doing drugs. Okay. Now, can I be part of the solution? No, because they hate you. Then you're gossiping about so-and-so because I'm neither part of the problem or the solution. So if I go to you, Rusty, and say, hey, Ashton, he treats me bad at the beginning of every episode we do on this podcast, okay? True. I tell you this, and it's true, yes. So it's not gossip because it's true. So I go to you and I say, Rusty, he's doing this to me and it's really making me mad and upset, which it's not. He's just ridiculous. But it's not affecting me. But let's say it was, and I tell you this, I say, he's really bothering me. Can you do something about this? And you say, I'm not even getting involved with that hornet's nest. I'm just not doing it, okay? Are you the reason Ashton does it? Or can you solve the problem at that point?
No and no.
Then and absolutely won't try. So what I just did was gossip. Now, if Rusty was Ashton's supervisor, which he does need one, if you were his supervisor, I'm like, this is what he's doing and I don't like it. Now I'm talking to somebody that might be able to solve the problem for me.
You're fired.
Boom.
Yep. Problem solved.
No, now we have new problems. He can't be fired. He just needs behavioral training.
He can be rehired at a later date.
Guidance.
Reapply in 6 months.
He just needs guidance is what he needs. But if you were a supervisor, then I'd be coming to you because you could be part of the solution.
Sure.
Therefore, it's not gossip at that point. I'm actually confiding in somebody that might be able to help with the problem I'm having. So that's not gossip. But if I'm telling somebody who's neither part of the problem or the solution, and I'm sharing private or, what was the other one? Private or negative information, okay? All I'm doing in this scenario is gossiping. Mm-hmm. And by the way, here's another red flag. If people feel comfortable telling you about all their gossip, you're putting out a vibe you shouldn't be putting out there. Mm-hmm. Why are they comfortable telling you? You want to back off from that. So we want to be... Maybe you should go down some roads to be able to disconnect from that story in the moment. Okay, we should do something. So here's where the focus lies. It's sharing with those who aren't part of the problem or the solution. If they're either one of those, you're gossiping. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Let's say they can't be part of the solution, but they are part of the problem. Well, then they already know. They already know what they did. Or even if they don't know, they might be part of the solution when you tell them, hey, by the way, you did this, it upset them. Oh, well, then I am part of the problem. and I can be part of the solution. So it's not gossip. It's just helping you're building up in that case. So gossip just divides and it destroys. That's all gossip does. That's all it's providing for anybody. It's not giving you anything except for maybe the reputation of the guy that's in the know.
Yeah.
But if he'll tell a story about you, he'll turn around and tell a story about me too.
Yep.
So it's not really benefiting anybody. So he falls under the category of a perverse person.
Oh.
Nobody wants to put that into the category of gossip, but Proverbs 16:28 does. So let's look at that. A perverse person spreads strife, and a slanderer separates intimate friends. You guys ever been part of a scenario where gossip separates intimate friends? Not just acquaintances, but
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
unfortunately, personally, yeah, I'd have to say I took part in something like this whenever I was a teenager.
okay. And we don't need too many details because we're trying to avoid the gossip thing. Yeah, but go ahead, share what you want. Yeah.
And what it amounted to was a lie was told about a friend of mine, and I spread that lie.
Oh no.
Yes.
Okay.
And long story short, that lie got back to the local high school that we attended and got spread around school, and it was damaging to this person. It was damaging to their reputation. Not to mention the fact that this person was my best friend, and
So was your just out of curiosity, was your name tied to the information being spread around?
yes, it was.
Oh, then you're toast. Yeah.
Yeah, and-
You want to scoot over this way, Ashton?
Well, and rightfully so. I mean, this person was hurt and devastated beyond, I look back on it, as a kid, it was a stupid move and mistake that I had made. But the ramifications of it, there was no reconciliation between me and this person for 32 years.
Oh my.
32 years.
You caused a huge problem, sir.
Well, yeah, and I mean, a lot of that has to do with the fact that somebody you trusted, somebody you thought a lot of, spread this about you, this, I mean, there was just so much hurt, so much everything that went into this, and looking back, it's like, I wish I'd have never even, so much I wish I'd never got involved with it.
Okay, so that verse, man, got real personal real fast then.
Yeah, so I mean, because it's perverse, and it was slander.
A perverse person spreads strife, and a slanderer separates intimate friends.
See.
And so you not only say that's true because it's the word of God, but you say that's true because you experienced that verse.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
It's only destructive. That's all it does.
Absolutely.
All it is to keep a secret alive and add to the drama. That's what gossip does. That's all it does. Here's another verse, Proverbs 20:19. He who goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with a gossip. If you've got somebody who says, "Hey, let me tell you about so and so," or "Let me tell you another story," or whatever, just say, "I can't." You don't have to throw people are not disposable, so we're not saying, "Hey, stay away from that person," or treat them like the plague. We're just saying, correct the situation. They may avoid you because they don't want to be corrected, but at least correct the situation. Stop that from going on. It multiplies sin. That is what gossip's doing. It's just a multiplication process. Here's another one, Ephesians 4:29 through 30. Let no unwholesome word, and we're going to go deeper than what we did earlier. Let no unwholesome word proceed out of your mouth, but only such a word as is good for edification, so that it will give grace to those who hear. So what I'm saying should be offering grace to those who hear. Gossip usually doesn't offer a lot of grace.
Absolutely not.
Unless you're saying it's a prayer request, and then the prayer request is the grace that you're offering, which is not in grace at all, because what you did was redefine gossip as a prayer request. That's all you did. You're not offering prayer. You're offering juicy nuggets of goodness. That's it. She's just like, spread some more news. That's all you're doing.
Lipstick on a pig.
That's all you're doing. So it also it competes with love. If we are edifying one another, what we're doing is we're building each other up in love, right? That's what the church is supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be building one another up. Gossip is tearing one another down. Yep. So the purpose of church is to build each other up in love. Gossip is to tear each other down, and it removes the purpose of love altogether. It competes with what love's trying to accomplish. Here's what love does. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7 is where you're going to find this. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Gossip does the opposite. It exposes all things, it assumes all things, and it injures. That is what it does.
That covers it.
Yeah, it is not doing what love's trying to accomplish. It's not accomplishing that at all. It's actually doing the opposite. You've got a competition there. And a lot of times our churches, what they're doing is they're falling on the gossip train rather than producing that love and that edification that people need, because love compels us to repentance.
Sure.
Love is what draws us to God. Gossip just chases us away and thinks, well, if that's his people, I don't want those to be my people.
Exactly.
I don't want that. So here's what we need to ask ourselves, all of us. If you like the gossip, why? But if you're into gossip, this is what we need to ask. Is this true, necessary, or helpful for the person's good? That's the question, okay? And if it's not, it's likely gossip. That's just it. Is it true? No. Okay, then it's a lie. Don't lie. There you go. Now you don't tell the story at all because you know it's not true. Is it necessary? No, but it is juicy. It is good. I want to share. Nope, still falls under the category of gossip. Don't do it. Is it helpful for the person's good? Well, yeah, if we're praying for them, blah, blah, blah. No, you're still sharing with the person that's not part of the problem or the solution, and that definition still falls in there. So you got to include all of this to say, should I be talking or shouldn't I be talking? So share up, not out. That's the idea. Build each other up. I don't need to share with everybody all the problems I see in other people's lives. If I did that, do you think anybody would come to me with problems as a pastor?
I know I wouldn't.
No. I'd be sitting in my office like, why is nobody ever coming anymore? It's because they know as soon as they do, I'll make some phone calls and spend the rest of my day talking about them. I couldn't pastor a church. Nope. You would not be fit for that job if you did that. If there's real harm or sin to address, we got to think about this. If there's real harm or sin to address, then take it to the person directly or to somebody who is able to offer help or restoration, not to the spectators.
Don't turn it into a spectator sport.
Exactly. Don't do that. And we do have a verse to support this teaching here. Matthew 18:15. Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between him and you alone. Alone. If he hears you, you've gained your brother. The goal is care, not circulation. Circulation just seems to be what people are into, but the goal is to care. So let's break this down. We broke it down kind of in a definition form for all the listeners, just to kind of give you a quick synopsis of this. Gossip. Here it is. Its purpose: to share information that isn't yours to share. Audience. Who's the audience? People who are not part of the problem or the solution. The effect: it destroys trust even if the information is accurate. So here's the quick test. Am I sharing a private detail that isn't mine to share with someone who can't help?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, you're gossiping. That's it. That's easy. Record that segment of the episode, lock that in, put it on a refrigerator magnet. Just lock that in. Try to govern this. So what about backbiting? What is backbiting? It's tearing people down. Purpose: to lower someone else's reputation or to get even. A lot of that going on. Audience: usually behind the person's back. The effect: it damages character and relationships, often exaggerates or assumes motives. So here's the quick test, another refrigerator magnet. Would I say this the same way with the same tone if they were present? Probably not. Backbiting. There you go. Nice, make a refrigerator magnet. What is discord? Here's the last one here. Discord. It's stirring division. And by the way, God says he absolutely hates discord. He calls it an abomination. Here's its purpose: to rally sides, win, or control. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this, where people try to rally people together just to take their side. This is what God calls an abomination, is discord. Rally, well, I'm just trying to get my family together to pray for so-and-so because we really love so-and-so, and we're going to spread the juicy gossip around. That way we all know how to pray better. Discord, that's the category you just found. The purpose is to rally sides, win, or control. Your audience is groups seeking allies. That's what you're doing. And the effect is it polarizes and fractures unity. It destroys things. So here's the quick test for discord. Am I trying to solve, or am I trying to recruit? And then you go back to the definition of, is it necessary? Is the person going to help with the problem or the solution? You got to consider all this stuff. Here's what we should be doing: honest, concern, wise counsel. That's the healthy alternative. The purpose is to love and restore. That's it. That's what we should be doing. The audience, only those directly involved or those who can truly help. That's it. And the effect is it builds each other up. It's in the kingdom of God. We're building each other up. So here's the quick test for that one. Is my goal there good? Is my tone gentle? Is this necessary and helpful right now? So before everyone says, I got this one locked in, I got it now. Thanks for the episode. Let's define a few more words. Necessity. Does it need to be said? Authority. Am I the right person to say it? Proximity. Am I talking to the person or just about the person? Proximity is a good one. Charity or love. Am I assuming the best about their intent and edification? Will this give grace to those who hear? These are definitions that are so important. So let's use them. Let's just, everybody take notes on this, because this problem is huge.
Yes.
Okay. Before we close out this episode, I've got some ground-shaking stats to reveal here.
What?
Let's hear it.
The number one state with our listeners, according to Podbean, that's the only one we have the statistics on here, is the state of Virginia. It came out of nowhere.
Nice.
Virginia.
Okay.
Nice.
Second is Pennsylvania, rising up there really close to Virginia. Third, here we go, guys, California. First, second, and third, not us. And then Missouri comes in at the end. We're at least fourth. And then there's so many other states. Missouri, we don't know what's going on with you. We'll just get out there and do a petition or something. But listeners from everywhere, thank you for listening.
Yes.
Thank you for being part of this with us. These topics are so important, and people are honestly burnt on religion. They don't want church. They don't want God because of how God's people portray him. So that's why we do this podcast. That's why these topics are so important. So please help generate the knowledge about burnt on religion. We truly just want to help people. So you guys want to talk about anybody, or are we done?
Well, once the camera's off.
Ashton.
Oh.
We're going to talk about Ashton?
No, I figured I'd let him lead.
Oh, okay. I'm going to leave.
But Josh, I got stuff to say.
Yeah, he knows all the juicy stuff.
All right. Well, apparently we knowledge without application is wasted, folks. So you heard the knowledge. Don't lose the application. Let's apply it, and let's do this right. We'll go counsel Ashton, and it'll be good. So, do you guys have anything to add?
No.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for sharing, liking, subscribing, all of that. Help us get the word out. We do appreciate what you're doing. And until next week, have a good week. We'll talk to you later.